I'm your host, Corinne, and this is Okay But Are You Good? Where we check in on ourselves on a weekly basis to see how we're doing. How are we doing this week, you guys? Welcome if you're new here, if you're a returning listener. Hi. I feel like I am doing really good. It's midsummer, which is crazy. Time is just flying by when you're having fun, or maybe we're not. I don't know. It's a day-to-day struggle. Anyways, today's episode, we're going to talk about the Sunday Scaries. Dun, dun, dun. And then how do we survive the Sunday Scaries as adults? If you're like me, Sundays are no longer a day of rest and catch up on your sleep. It's getting everything done so I can have a great week, because the weekend, it's really just 2 days. It's like maybe 2.5 days. So by Sunday, if I haven't gotten everything I need done, I better wake up early and get my booty moving so I can have food for the week, run whatever other errands I don't have time for, pack my lunch and my bag and make sure I'm all set, because I gotta wake up early the next day and get going. And, you know, in the movies, they really romanticize it, or in TV shows, like, oh, it's no big deal. There was a show I used to watch. I have no idea what it's called, but they used to have Sunday Fun Day, Better Than a Monday, and they'd be out to brunch and doing whatever other crazy fun stuff. I have not done that in so long. I'm like, how do you have time for this? I'm like, these people don't work. I feel like half of them didn't work on that show. I have to figure out what it's called. But I have been with my job for like the last year. And, you know, at first it was a struggle trying to like prioritize and maintain and organize my weekend so I had enough time to get everything done. So then I wasn't stressed out during the week and didn't have time to eat lunch or make my food or just do anything for myself. So I've kind of gotten into this routine, and it goes into being organized, which is I'm so glad I have. That's one skill I know I for sure have, is being organized. Directions, you got to call somebody else. But so one thing I for sure do is I try and go grocery shopping the first thing when I wake up. You got to make a list before you go to the store. It's really annoying, but you got to do it. So I'll usually make a list, see what my husband and I want to do for dinners that week. And then I have to make a few lunches. So it's usually the same food, more or less, because I'm not the chef at the house. You know, if I had to cook for everyone, we wouldn't eat. So I just make simple stuff. And then once I got that done and laundry's going, I carve out at least like 2 hours of my day to do something that is for myself, whether that's reading, watching a TV show, getting a workout in, spending time with my family. You have to make sure you carve out time for yourself on that Sunday so you're not miserable the next day you're going to work. And then your week, you're all upset because you feel like you've had no time for yourself, that's a constant daily battle I have with myself, is like, I don't have time to do anything I want to do. But that is why we get organized and we make lists and we just time out our weeks and our days. It is a lot of effort. And some days you're not going to follow that list or the plan that you had, because that's life, baby. It's not always going to go the way you thought it was, even though a lot of us in our head have plans of how the day should go, and then it just doesn't hit that because no one else realizes you've already had this made up plan in your head. I can't be the only person that does this. But anyways, Sundays don't have to be as scary anymore. Sundays don't have to be as scary anymore. And that's because we're making sure we get it together and we're go, go, go. So we can enjoy our Sundays. If you can magically do some of these errands on Saturday, man, I don't know about you guys, but most of them I'm running to whatever appointments. I'm not doing fun things on Saturday. Saturdays aren't really fun anymore. Maybe I'm just lame, but it's kind of just realistic. I can't go to the dentist in the middle of the week. I got to go Saturday. Thank God my dentist is open on Saturdays. But I feel like I've really nailed Sundays. It's just being organized and getting the stuff that you don't want to do done earlier in the day. So then you're fine and free to carve out time for yourself. Like when I have plans on Sundays, I low key kind of hate it because I'm like, oh, that ruins like my schedule, my day-to-day Sunday. And now my whole week is shifted, especially when I'm out of town. Oh, it's so hard. I'm like, dang, like now I have to like really plan ahead, or I might have to go grocery shopping Monday after work since I can't do it Sunday, or I'm just going to have to take a fat L and buy lunches for the week, which I don't really want to do that. I'd rather spend money on like stupid stuff like coffees every day. Coffee is so expensive now. It's $7. It's so stupid. But anyways, so be organized. Take that L, get up at a reasonable time, go to the store, run whatever shenanigan errands you have to do so your week is set up and you can still enjoy your weekend before you're back at it again. And Mondays are my dad's favorite day. I think he's literally the only person in the entire world that loves a Monday, but we love the man. It's okay. But I've started doing things I would do on Fridays on Mondays, which is getting myself a little treat. I'll get a coffee because I want to start the week off well. Where on Fridays, you're like, oh, it's Friday, we survived. It's like, no, we're going to survive this week because we're going to get a little nice treat and reward ourselves for showing up, even though everyone else has to do the same thing, but it's okay. We're going to do a little self-love. So that's how I get through the week. If I can buy a coffee, they add up. So that might not always work, but at least do something that you would probably do on a Friday, on a Monday, so it brightens up your day a little bit more. And that's like on Sunday, when you have things to look forward to, it makes them less scary and you're more excited. You're like, okay, this week's going to be great. I'm all set and ready to go and conquer this week. And then I can have fun again when it comes to the weekend, once all the adulting stuff is done. I will admit, I'm still trying to navigate how to survive the Sunday Scaries when I'm not home. It's really just about planning. I'll run whatever errands on a Friday instead before I leave, or if it has to be a Thursday. Like I've gone grocery shopping on a Friday before. You know, I kind of recommend it because no one's there, but it's just as long as your stuff you're getting will last like for the next week. But I wouldn't do it all the time, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do because you are going to be gone some weekends. I've been gone. This will be like my second weekend I'm gone, or I have plans so I can't do my normal schedule. And that, oh my gosh, that throws us off so much, doesn't it? But you just have to pivot from Friends. Hopefully someone out there gets that. You gotta pivot and just adjust, because life is about adjusting. Adulting's about adjusting and really doing things that you don't want to do, but you have to do. I'm really learning that, and I have refused to accept it, but that's just how things are. So pivoting and adjusting and knowing things aren't always going to happen the way that you planned, which is why you got to stay on top of it and have a plan B, I like to call it. So I'm shifting daily to see what works because things come up. You might, even during the week, like I kind of hate having plans during the week because I'm like, all I want to do is come home, decompress, and go to bed because I got to wake up early and do it all over again. But, you know, sometimes you just got to suck it up and go hang out with your friends or your family, or go to a concert or a cool new restaurant, and you might just have to go during the week. It will probably screw up your next day, but that's life, man. You don't want to miss out on certain opportunities. I definitely have FOMO. I think a lot of us do that are around my age. FOMO is real, man. If you don't know what that is, it's fear of missing out. And I think especially like there's just so much, life is so precious, so you don't want to miss out on these fun opportunities. So that next day, you might just have to have 3 coffees instead of 2. I know 3 is a lot, but hey, sometimes you got to do it. So when I have plans during the week, I take advantage of that on the weekend to plan ahead and do things that I wouldn't have time for. It's just really about planning ahead, being organized, as I keep saying, but it's the truth. That's how I get through life. Or because if I don't, I'll freak out. And I'll be like, I'll cry over this, like, oh, like you have no control of your life. And I think before I got into this routine, like when I first started this job, it was really hard because I hadn't like had such a hardcore 9 to 5 job in a minute. My job before this was flexible hours. So getting back into that, it was tough. It was like torture, but it's paid off. I just had to adjust. It wasn't like overnight, I'm going to have this all planned out and you're not going to be exhausted 24/7. It's crazy how much time really does help in a year from like a year later. It's just, I've gotten used to it. This is my weeks. These are my hours and it's not bad. But at first it's overwhelming. And for me, when I get overwhelmed, like I'll kind of have like a little panic and then I'll just end up sulking and not doing anything. Like if I get too overwhelmed, I just like give up. I don't love that, but it's just kind of how I am. It's how I cope. And I've really tried to break that habit and just push through. And by planning and getting into a little routine, it helps. Like when we moved down, like we used to have such different weekend schedules. Like we live close to Golden Gate Park. So it was so nice. We go and walk the park. Like everyone does that on the weekends, especially when the weather's good. But like now where we live, like I wouldn't necessarily do that. So just little things like that you probably used to have. Now you have to adjust. And now we just go get coffees at this really good Italian place. They've been closed. They were closed for like 2 Sundays and it was torture. But everyone deserves a vacation. But I'm like, don't leave me again for a long time. So it's okay if like you get upset because you feel like you have no control and then you got to go because then the week's happening and that's okay. You're allowed to have bad days but sulk, be upset, give it 30 minutes to an hour and then get back on it. Do what you got to do so then you can chill, scroll on your phone, read a book, watch TV, just do mindless activities. But you have to get what you got to get done first. You got to adult. Trust me, I hate it. That's an episode for another day. And then Sundays won't be so scary anymore. And you still can have fun. I think maybe I'm just like... being social sometimes is so exhausting unless you're around those friends that you can shut your brain off, which I have quite a few of those, which they know who they are and I'm grateful for them. But on the ones where you really have to like put all the effort in, it's exhausting being social. Like my social battery is not what it used to be. I used to have so many different friend groups in high school and I'm like, I don't think I could keep up with that nowadays, but it's balance and spending time with yourself, with your family and your friends, and doing adult stuff, keeping your home clean, running errands. It's just all about balance and prioritizing your health. I keep saying that, but it's so true. You got to prioritize your health because without your health, you don't got nothing at the end of the day. Honestly, you don't. So you appreciate it when you're feeling great, you're not sick or have any other health concerns. And really that's how I get through my Sunday Scaries is I stay organized. I get all my boring stuff out of the way early in the day. And then I make sure I have something to look forward to in the week, which for me, it's a coffee. Ugh, I love coffee. I really do. I can't believe I didn't. I used to not drink coffee all the time, but now I do. Hey, there could be worse vices out there, right? So as I was saying, have something to look forward to. And it goes back, it's having something weekly to look forward to, yearly to look forward to, whatever adventure, event, activity. It's important to keep going and remember we're all scared on Sundays. And maybe we can live like those people on that TV show I was talking about. I really got to figure out what it's called. The main chick was a redhead or something. And we can all be Sunday fun day better than a Monday. So let's conquer this week. Let's not be scared anymore of the Sundays. Dun, dun, dun. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening and I'll see you next week.